All right, good afternoon, or good morning, whenever we're watching this, and hello again, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Stafford Media Channel. And what are we doing today? Today, in videography, we're going to be doing some titling, and then we're also going to do some time remapping. 2 things you have to do for your day in the life assignment. All right, just kind of adds a little something to your video, and just anytime you can add something to make your videos look that much cooler, it's cool, and people will notice your videos more and go, hey, wow, that's neat. He or she went above and beyond the call there, and I'm going to watch some more of their videos. So then you can start posting more of your videos, and who knows, then you're maybe the latest greatest YouTuber out there. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so I've already opened Premiere. And if you're not sure how to open Premiere by now, we need to talk, but we could share screens and do that kind of thing. Also, I did not show how to bring in this footage, and I can actually do that in class if necessary. So I already brought in some footage. So what does my typical day look like, by the way? My typical day looks like, I wake up, make some coffee, read the news a little bit, and then I come over and then I start doing some teaching and stuff like that. So you'll see some clips like that. This isn't a completed video that I'm showing you, by the way. I just really want to show you. I don't want to sit here and edit have you guys watch another 45-minute video, because I've already shown this in class. But this is kind of a review, just in case you want to watch it again and go, how do you do that? Because I know there were some questions in class. It was like, can you show us a video? So that's why I'm kind of doing this, so that way, in case you're a little stuck, you can rewatch these parts. Okay, so I kind of just already grabbed some footage, and kind of some footage. You see some footage of me playing with my doggies, and that's usually my afternoon. But then you see some morning footage of me working on the computer. So I kind of scrubbed through these, and it's slightly pre-edited. So what we'll do is we'll actually put a title in on this. So here is a title screen, and then there's a lower third, and then we go all the way to the end. And again, I don't have all of my details of me cooking dinner, and then sitting around at the end of the night playing guitar or anything like that. So this is not a completed video. This is just kind of some bits and pieces of how I would do this. You should have from when you wake up and make coffee or tea to having dinner and, then going to bed, all the things that you would normally do in a day. So this isn't my complete day, but it's just parts of it. And so I showed some of these in class. So let's go ahead and click through here, though. It didn't want to take this forever to put it together. So let me zoom into this. By the way, whenever you click here, so some of these are already in my timeline. And how do you do that? Remember, you click on a scene and you find it, and then you mark your in and your out points. How do you mark your in and your out points? With the I and the O keys, or right here, mark in, mark out. So find the parts of your clips that you want. Notice this one's already marked, but if you want to change it, if you said, hey, I like that better instead right there, and you said, oh, I want to go right to there, and that's kind of a cool shot, really. Oh, I could actually zoom in and see how I kind of scrub through that. That'll kind of show you what it looks like when you go fast. That's kind of a neat looking scene right there. Might come back to that. So anyways, I already have my dogs already over here in the timeline, and the way that I drag this to the timeline, I'm going to stick that over there for later, maybe, and we'll see. So my dogs are already over here in the timeline, and by the way, I did say if you do speed ramping, I'm going to undo what I just did, because if you are going to do speed ramping, you're not going to want to grab your audio, because it's just going to make your audio go and then so don't do that. So I'm just going to grab this right here and go whoop, just grab the video only. You'll also notice I put some music in there. I've already showed you how to put audio in before, and we have royalty-free music, a whole folder of it. So I'll show you how to do that in another video if you want to see it again. But anyways, here's my, look at that shot right there, right in the middle. My doggies are flying up in the air, and that's super cool. So I already put this clip over here. It's already marked. Let's see what it is. So if I went through it, I showed you this in class, but I'll just re-show it. Look at that. There they are. They're having fun. They're running around. You remember I took it and put a freeze frame in there, and then boom, there it is. It kind of even matches that fun music. I'm going to mute that music just so you can hear me a little better. I'm going to take this and move it out of the way, and I'll go ahead and grab that same clip, okay? So let me find that clip. I think it's, let me see if it's, computer's going a little slow here, and it looks like it might be that one. Oops, I accidentally grabbed the freeze frame, so let me cruise back through, and we'll see if we can find the right clip here. And it looks like it might be, oops, not that one. And it's not that one, but I think I did that one in a different class. It should be this one right there. Got some fun one right there. It's already pre-marked, but remember it's the I and the O keys. I and O are going to let you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag right here, and I'm going to put it right down there. Remember what I said? Oops, I wasn't following my own instructions. It grabbed the audio down there. If you notice, it's jumping down into the A2 track. So just go ahead and grab right here where it says drag the video only. Let's go ahead and drag that and stick that in there. I'm going to zoom into it. So you just zoom in by doing that right there. You're not changing the time yet. You're simply zooming into it to let you see it better. So if you want to do time remapping, that's just changing how it plays. Notice if I play it right now, it's going to play in real time. And there it all is right there. But you see this technique a lot in film. I'm holding down the shift key and I'm going to be in the first frame right there. You see this a lot in filmmaking, whether it's commercials, or even oftentimes in opening sequences of movies where it'll have like a slow motion into freeze frame. I saw it on a Discovery Channel show recently, so it kind of gave me the idea. I said, I need to teach the kids how to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm going to click right here in Effects, and I'm going to say Time Remapping. Time Remapping. And Speed. So now it's going to let me, if you look at it, it's going to let me do the time remapping and speed. See, it has a dot on it right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of scrub through it. Scrubbing is just cruising through, and I'm going to figure out, okay, where do I want it to go slow motion? Right where the action gets all kind of fun. Probably is where I'll do it. All right, so let it go right to there, and then maybe slow motion there where you really want to highlight that action. So I grabbed the pen tool. The pen tool is a tool that you see it's here in Premiere, you see it in Adobe Illustrator, you see it in After Effects. Really all the Adobe products have it. Photoshop. And it has various functions, but it lets me drop a point. And so I notice that I have a point there. And so now I can go back to the selection tool. That's the main tool that you use. And what I want to do at this point now is take this and I want to slow it down. See, it's giving me a percentage there. And I'm going to slow it down to, we'll call it 50% right there. And you notice the clip just got longer because it made it half of the speed. So when it's half the speed, it's going to be twice as long. Basic math there. All right, get these little pop-ups here. And so it just got twice as long right there. So now when we watch it, boom, here it is. Dogs are having fun, they're running around, and now it's slow motion, but maybe I want to accentuate one of those clips right in there. So if I didn't show you how to do this in class, I'm just now cruising through the parts, and what I love is just, I like that. Look how intent my little dog is. Her name's Cleo. I kind of like this frame. I mean, I can cruise through literally frame by frame. I like that frame best because look, Winston, he's looking at the camera, and look at her. She's just focused on that ball. That's her whole life right there. So what I can actually do is I want to make a clip of that. So I'm not going to move my cursor at this point. That's the exact frame I want, and I use my arrow keys too. I can go backwards one or forwards one or whatever. I want it to go just clip or frame by frame, and so I want that frame right there, that frame right there. So I'm going to take a picture of that. So it says export to frame. I click right there, and it just puts a name on it. You can call it something if you want to, but it doesn't really matter. And I leave it as a PNG. You could also do it as a JPEG, but PNG is a fairly universal type of file format. And it says, where do you want to put it? And I'm going to say, let's put it into, I'm going to click on the proper folder. Otherwise, it's going to stick it in some random folder in Adobe Premiere. Sorry, you're hearing my dogs chiming in back there saying, hey, you're doing great, Dad, on this video. So that's what they're saying. So it's going to go in. You can pick where it's going. It's going to go in the day in the life. It's going to go in your assets folder. Hey, if you follow my file hierarchy, and I did post this in the classroom materials folder, you'll find it in there. You can just copy it into each new project you create, and it's a good thing to do because file management is like super duper 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 important. I have my audio clip in there. I have all my footage in there that I shot with my phone. And then I have some stills, and it's going to go right in the still folder. I say, go right there, and then I just select that folder. So now you'll notice it's going in the assets and in the stills folder. And then this is super important, otherwise you'll have to go back and re-import it. It says import into this project. So then I just click OK, and it's going to take that frame, and it's going to stick it right there for me. So I double click it, and hey, look, I have 5 seconds of that frame right there. So when I play it, nothing happens. So I really want to accentuate that frame. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so I take the razor blade tool. There's a razor blade tool, and it's for cutting clips, you might imagine. So I'm going to grab it, and I literally am then going to, I hold down the shift key, and it will snap it to. You notice, see how I get those little triangles right where the scrub bar is here? Boom, I click right on it, and it just cut that in half. Now I can use the selector tool, and I'm gonna just slide out for a minute here. I drag this part of the clip over, put it out of the way, and then I can just take this and grab it and put it right into there. Now let's play it and see how long it is, okay? I go ahead and do that. Play. Here they are, they're having fun. And we get some slow-mo to really show that, and all of a sudden, bang! Now, that's probably long enough. You don't want to go too long because people will think their TV's glitched. So just let it play for like maybe a second or so. So I'm just going to make it smaller. You notice how whenever I drag that, see how I get these arrows that let me, I can make it smaller. And then once I get to there, it'll snap. Let's try that time now and see how long that plays for. Boom. Probably even too long still. Just go by feel. How does it feel? And one more time. Boom, look at that. Oh, just enough to make it so it's really cool. And now I can take this and whoosh, I'm going to snap it into there. But I am going to actually take the time and I'll turn it back up. Remember, time remapping is still activated. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it up to, doesn't have to be at full speed, but here's 86%. So let's see what happens now. I'll hold down the shift key, it goes to the beginning, hit the space bar, it plays. This is just a way of making your B-roll really cool and exciting looking. Look at that. Boom, they're having fun. Bam, freeze frame, and oh, then it closes out. It's just a great way to make your B-roll just super exciting. All right, check that out one more time. And it's just doing things like this. This is paying attention to detail with your films, and it's just super cool, super fun. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, they're fun. Oh, dogs are having a good time. Look at my little doggy right there. Oh, she just looks, I'm telling you, she lives for that. She lives for playing ball. Okay, so I'm zooming out here. That's how to do time remapping. You have to do that at least once in your video. At least once in your video, okay? Try it, it's really fun. But another thing you need to do is titling. Titling, I'm gonna go ahead and make this window a little bit bigger so you can see. I have a title put in here and I used one of the cheater ones. Look at it, A Day in the Life, it's title screen. There it is, it plays. And there I am, I'm just kind of talking. The production quality is much. Now I probably wouldn't start with this clip, by the way. I would probably start, if I'm sitting here thinking of my narrative, which you should do. You can script it out. Think of your narrative. I would put in like me, again, don't put in all the little details of your life. Like I don't have to, you know, I told you plenty of things not to put in there. What would I do? I'd probably start with me waking up and making coffee. Okay, that's kind of one of the first things I do. And then I sit down and then I read the news. So I would move all this out. But these are just the beginnings of putting my clips together. So you're not at all seeing a finished video. And please understand that, all right? I just grabbed some clips. But you need to think, what's my day start with? And then I probably go to school. And then what do I do after school? Probably jump on some homework. And then maybe you take a break and you go work out, or you go for a bike ride, or you take your dogs out to play. And then you come and maybe help the family do dinner, and then you clean up and do the dishes. And then maybe a little more homework and you go to bed. That might be the narrative for your day. So you got to think of what all do I need to shoot? Okay, so I don't have all the details of my day either. I just wanted to grab some things and show you. All right, so you're going to start it out though with the title frame. Remember I said you need a title frame. So I'm going to zoom into this now. How do you do this? And how did I do this? You need a title frame and you need a lower third. See how I have a lower third right there? A lower third is an identifier of who the person is and sometimes what they do. All right, I'm going to delete these and I'm going to show you how to do them. Delete and delete. Now, if you don't have, by the way, I'm going to delete this gap right here. I'm clicking here and I'm saying ripple delete. Let me show you this. I'll show you the manual way to do it, and then I'll show you the kind of the built-in way of doing it. I'm going to click on here, click on the T tool, and I can click and I can say, let's say if I wanted to do a day in the life here. And if you remember, you watched a few videos in class. I'm going to type a day in the life. Okay, lifer, a day in the life. Now, you can also click this and move it around and all that stuff. If you remember, I showed you some examples in class. And in these examples, it showed You know, like the airline pilot, he didn't have a title screen, but other people do. And so maybe you don't want this to play over the beginning. This guy here. Number one, because that looks more like a lower third, not a title. So I probably want, especially in this case, to run it over a black screen. So I'm going to delete this out. Beep. And how do you do a black screen? Well, I need to move all of this out of the way. So I'm actually going to select this tool right here called Track Select Forward, and I'm going to click on it. And at this point, what it's going to do is it's selected everything in my timeline, and I'm just going to push everything back out of the way. Notice it moved all that out, so now I have room to put this in here. So now if I click on the T tool again, and I just click up in here, and I say, a day in the life. There it is. Now, how do you edit this, by the way? You click on your graphics tab. We've mostly been working in the editing tab, but I click in the graphics tab. And so if I then click to edit on that, now I can change my font. That's not a bad looking font. Depends on what you want to do. One's called Cure of Pain. If you want something simple looking, you can do, I need to have it all selected. Sorry, I didn't have it selected. Boom. You do Control A and that selects all. And then you click right here on this little triangle and you can say, I want it to be, and you might not have as many cool looking fonts as I do. There we go, day in the life. You make it bigger by doing that. And you'll also notice it's not really centered. Let me do a capital L there. It's gonna bug me. That's kind of a boring looking font, but sometimes boring is okay. So I'll stick with boring and you guys can play around and do things. Make sure it's readable though. You always think about readability when we're talking typography. Typography is kind of the study of fonts and how we look and how we look at them and how we read them and the reaction we have. Like some fonts can be really distressed and it makes you feel differently than a font that looks really simple, like this one you see on the screen here. You'll also notice right now it's aligned to the left, so you want to align it to the center, and then you went, wait a minute, it's all kind of jacked up now over there. You need to align it into the center of your screen. So there's two little buttons here. You go to vertical center and then horizontal center. So it is in the smack dab center of the screen, according to like right there in the middle. But you might say, I don't think I like it in the smack dab center of the screen. You can always move it up just a little bit. But when I did that, I probably moved it, slightly to the left or something. So then you want to recenter it in the horizontal center. So in other words, if it was stuck out over there, you'd go put it right there. So now I have a title screen. And so watch it and see how long it is. Probably doesn't take us that long to read that. So I can just trim that down now. Boom. See, it snapped right to there. And then I would ripple delete that. That's a right click, ripple delete. And so then I can probably put a transition in on that. So you can go to Effects and Video Transitions, and I say Dissolve, and you can just put a cross dissolve since there's really nothing else around it, or a dip to black. There is something around it, but it's going to go right like that. And so when you watch it, it fades in, and it fades out. Number one. And into that. Okay. So that's kind of the manual way to do it, if you will. And sometimes I like doing that because I get a lot more control. But sometimes it's okay to kind of cheat too. So let's cheat in this case. It's not really cheating actually. It's just kind of letting Adobe Premiere do some of the work. Let's go to Browse. It's in the Essential Graphics tab. Browse. Let's let Adobe do some of the work. And so if we look at, say, I'm looking for like a basic title. See, it's right there. And there's that, but there's also a whole thing of titles. So sometimes there's really cool ones. Bold Presents. What's that look like? I don't know. You just have to click around on them and see what they look like. Now, it's going to oftentimes give you a warning. It'll say, like, I designed this with a different font. You don't have that font on your system. Just click cancel and it's fine. And you'll also notice that this goes over the edge. So if we want to watch the full illustration, we'd have to move it, because you see how it's going on top of that first clip of me. So you can actually just take, I'll take all this and move it further out of the way, but it might be too long anyway. So I'm just going to move it out of the way and we'll finish our work here. So when you watch it, hey, look at that. It has an animation built into it. That's kind of cool. Comes and goes. I don't think I like that one very much, but not too bad. I'm going to see, let's see, which one did I grab? How about, what's up? What does a film title look like? So you can grab it. So it's your title here. You can also make it shorter just by whoosh, and you can do that. And yeah, that looks pretty cool. It's not playing exceedingly well on my computer, you can see. And how do you change that, by the way? You can just kind of go whoosh, right there, and I'm going to say a day in the life. And that's where I could also put, it says episode name. And that's where I can put Mr. Stafford. Now you'll notice how I put a little star there because that font doesn't actually have a period. I typed a period in there. And I already showed you how you can change those fonts. I'm going to go ahead and I showed you that already, so I'm going to leave it at that. But I would just click right here and I could change the font. I don't want to take too much time to shop for the font that I would want, but I don't like that one. But it's okay for the purposes of time. And see, now when we watch it, I'm going to play this here and we can look at it. And so there it is. Gives me a little flash there. See, it's not playing. See how it's red right there? That is basically my computer saying, help, I'm not rendered. Would it play like that? No. It's because of the fact that I'm on this little laptop that doesn't have great memory and very much RAM and all that good stuff. So there it is right there. So it's going to play, but it would render out better. All right, so there it is. Just having a hard time playing it. Okay, so that's how you can put a title. You either build your own, or you can use one of the ones that Adobe made for us. And then you can put in a lower third. Now, lower third is, now we probably are going to guess that this is Mr. Stafford in the video because it said so right in there. And again, it's having a hard time playing. But I want to show you how to do a lower third. We can go back to Essential Graphics, and I go Browse. And I can go back. If you click on, see where this little thing is right here. If I click to right there, that just says that's the parent category. So you should be able to do that. And you can kind of look around. If you go to lower thirds, boom, right there. Hey, look, there's some lower thirds. And there's some that are classic lower thirds. I'm going to go with something simple like a film lower third, but there's classic lower thirds. And I think you can change the color in those too. Go with like a Hoover green. Film lower third. And again, I'm just going to click it and I drag it right onto there. And it just looks like a clip right on there. So check it out. Watch this. And again, it's telling me I don't have the font loaded. But I'm going to go ahead and let that play. And it says insert name here. All right. I am clicking close. I don't like where it's positioned, so you can still position it by kind of dragging it. Oh, my computer's starting to really lag here. Oh no. There we go. I don't want it too far off the screen because you have to be in like the TV safe area. You can do an overlay of a TV safe area, show you where it is, but just don't go too close to the edge because you'll lose your graphic. And it says insert name here, so I'm going to click on that. I did a Control A, and then I just put my name here. Whoops, Control A, I want to delete that, and that's me. You don't get to call me that yet. That's me right there. Click, and if you'll look, now you can play it.
Number one, the production quality is much higher.
That's probably long enough so I can trim it down a little bit. People can usually read it in that time. And again, these are already pre-built. Now, if we were there in person.
Number one, the production quality is much higher.
If we were there in person, I'm going to save this. If we were there in person, I would absolutely, I might show you how to cheat on this, so that way if you do your own videos, because sometimes I use the pre-made ones, that's fine if I'm in a hurry. But what we would do, like for our TMH broadcast, is we have one that's already branded. I'll show you how to do it too. We do it in Photoshop, but right now you probably don't have Photoshop on your computers because your computers are so small, and I had you guys use Premiere. But at the school, we have the whole Adobe suite of products, and so you would have Photoshop on there. And so I would teach you how to build these because they're easy enough to do in Photoshop, and you build it, and then you can actually bring it into After Effects. Then that would probably be like our first After Effects lesson, and you can animate it. You can make it do something cool, like that little flash that came out there whenever it rolled through here. Somebody probably built that in After Effects. See how it flashes right there? That little flash right there, that was probably built in After Effects. They put that little kind of blue, it looks like almost like a film flash sort of thing, right? Where a flash goes off. They probably just did that in After Effects. And so all these programs work together We unfortunately don't have all those programs on our computers, so it makes it a little tougher. But I just want to show you how you can do all these things just to kind of, add a little polish to your videos, because it makes them look just so much better, so much more professional. And that's what you want. People don't want to, see videos that just like, oh, that's not very good. If you put in a little production quality, I'm talking like, with your time remapping, that's one thing. But then also by putting in, really nice titles and graphics, and then remembering your basic shots. Remember, that's another thing you have to have in this. It's remembering your basic shots, all those different shots, shot variety. Don't shoot everything from eye level. It gets boring. So try and make your videos as exciting and enticing as possible. And my dog's going crazy. My dog's out there saying, yeah, that was a good video, and I'm in it. I know that's what she's saying. So anyways, hey, you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you learned something in this. I hope this helps you. And again, you're not watching a completed video because you're going to complete your videos, and you should know how to do that by now. If you, by the way, have forgotten how to export, I am getting this question a lot, so I'm going to show you on this. Let's pretend that mine is all the way done. I'm going to roll back to the beginning. We're pretending mine is done. I'm going to do Control S, which is save. I'm going to go to File, Export, Media. I've had numerous people kind of mess up on this. They turn in the Premiere project. You go to File, Export, Media. You look at the export settings. Make sure you can see the whole window here, because I want to be able to see what's right at the bottom. See, the bottom's the good stuff right there. Format is H.264. See where it says output name? Right now it's outputting the name, which is the clip that I was using, the first clip. You don't want to call it that, so I call it something else. I'm going to call it A Day in the Life. I'm going to save it in my video folder, but I'm going to save it in the Day in the Life folder. And if you did it right, you should have an export folder. But if not, you can always right-click it and say make a new folder, and then call it exports. When it makes a new folder for you, call it export. So I'm putting it in my export folder, and it's called A Day in the Life. I click save, and I cruise all the way down, and see how my screen isn't quite big enough, but right there at the bottom it says export. If you look, I roll it up, and then right there at the bottom it says export. Unfortunately, it always jumps down on my screen and it goes over this Windows thing, but then I click export, and now it's exporting it out. Okay, it takes, there's a bit to it, so it's taking a little bit. So this is where you go and you help your mom with dinner or do the dishes like you're supposed to do, and you do all that stuff, and then you come back and it's done, and then you can the easiest way to do it is put it on YouTube. That's the way that plays best whenever I like to share them in class. But if not, you can attach it to your assignment, and that plays okay too. But YouTube, I'm finding, is the best. I should probably show that one in class, but it works out. Okay, we're not gonna sit here and watch this whole thing render. That's what this is called, is rendering. But that's what it's basically doing, is finishing our video for us. Okay, you guys have a great rest of your day, and let's do this. See ya.